Welcome to Donahue Academy First Days of School. This instructional video will help you with a few things to know for your first day and first week of school. So welcome to your day. First item up, uniforms. Please consult the family handbook for the specific uniform for your child's grade. We will not be going over the full uniform here, but we do want to mention some variables to your uniform. The hot weather uniform and our Friday Mass uniform. The regular uniform is what your child will wear on the first day of school and from October 1 through the month of April, generally the bulk of the year. But we do have a hot weather uniform option for the hottest parts of the school year. So in the fall semester, students may wear their hot weather uniform beginning on Monday of the second week of school and continuing through September 30th. In the spring semester, they may wear their hot weather uniform from May 1 until the end of the school year. The hot weather option for boys in grades 6 through 8 is a white polo with school logo. For boys and girls in grades 9 through 12, the option is either a white or a navy polo with logo. Please note that if your child's uniform does not list a hot weather option, that is because the hot weather option already is included in their regular uniform. So for children in pre-K through 5 and girls in 6 through 8, their uniform already includes either a short sleeve shirt or shorts. So they don't need a special hot weather uniform. The other option is Friday Mass. And for Friday Mass, we would like our students in grade 9 through 12 to be dressed slightly more appropriately, I suppose you would say. And so boys should wear a blazer to Mass, and girls should wear their blouse with vest or sweater. Next up, electronics. Donahue Academy prides itself on being a school that reads books, and we like to create an environment where children interact socially in person and in reality. So we don't allow electronic use during school hours of 7:30 to 3:20 p.m. So if your child is going to bring some sort of an electronic device to school, a watch, a phone, whatever, that device must be off and stowed away. Pre-K through 5 children, not many bring a device, but if your child in those grades does bring a device, it should be turned into the teacher at the beginning of the day, or it should be stowed in a locker if your child has a locker. It should be kept off during the day. For logic and rhetoric students, same applies. The device must remain off and stowed in a locker for the entire day. If you're concerned about theft, you may purchase a lock for your locker from the office. We generally don't have locks on the lockers, but you may get one if you're concerned. Students should know, and please make sure your student is aware, that if they are caught holding or using their electronic device during school hours, there is a fine, and the phone or the device will be taken and held in the office until that fine is paid. So this could be several days, especially if your child is caught using a phone on a Friday. Say they won't get it back until the fine is paid on Monday or whatever day they pay. So please make sure your student knows about this policy. And I also just want to make parents aware, please don't text your child during school hours, because it will then they'll get the habit of checking to see if mom has sent me any messages. If you need to get a message to your child of an urgent nature, please call the office and we'll get a message to your child. Arrival. If your child walks, bikes, or boards to school, or any child coming to school may arrive by 7:30. K through 5 students will go to the gym. They'll wait in the gym with their class. They'll be supervised, and they'll wait there until their teacher comes at 7:55 to take them to their class. Rhetoric and logic students may go upstairs to their locker, gather their books, and they need to be in class before or by 8 a.m. A note for students who bike, we ask that you please instruct your student to leave their bike near the bike rack area. We don't want bikes on the lawn or in other parts of the school property. We want to keep them safe and make sure that they're out of the way for other people walking or driving into school. So please park bikes in the bike rack area. Arrival by car line. In the morning, the car line is a single file line. If you're dropping your child off in the car line, please pull into the east side entrance of the school, pull toward the front, and pull as far forward to the west side of the school as possible. When you drop your child, please have them exit from the passenger side of the car onto the sidewalk. Do not let your child exit from the driver's side. We want to keep the drive clear for cars that are pulling away from the school. For students arriving to school by golf cart, those carts should be parked near the west side parking lot in the grassy area between the lot and the fence. There's a row of grass there where golf carts can park. Those are the two morning instructions. Tardiness. Who could possibly need to know about tardiness? Well, just in case your child has trouble getting to places on time, that is a habit we want to encourage, and we want to foster being prompt and on time. So students are allowed 2 tardies per semester as a reminder or a warning. So if your child is late to school, they need to come to the office and get a slip that will allow them into class. 2 reminder warnings. The third tardy requires the student to come in the very next morning at 7:05, where they will sit in a classroom and wait until school begins. So it's not necessarily a fun thing to have to come to your mandatory makeup hour, but it is meant to impart the importance of being on time. There is another lesson that happens after the 6th tardy, but we are not going to go over that here because we hope that never happens. But if you are concerned about what happens after the 6th tardy in a semester, please consult your handbook. Absence. If your child is ill or is going to be absent from school, please send an email to attendance@donahueacademy.org. You can also call the office, but we would appreciate if you could do that after 7:40 when someone's there. You can leave a voice message, but it's harder to retrieve the voice messages, so it's better to just call when someone's in the office if you can. We ask that you do that between 7:40 and 9 a.m. because attendance gets filed by 9 a.m. So if you could help us out, we would appreciate that. If your student's absent, they have a 1-day grace period to make up missed homework or classwork, and 2 days to make up tests after they return to school. Please make sure your student knows to check with their teachers to make sure they have the proper work and know what is expected for their makeup work. Daily Mass. Daily Mass is a big part of our school day here at Donahue, and so it's expected that all students will come to Mass. But for some in grades 9 through 12, you may feel that your child might benefit more from having a quiet period of spiritual reflection instead of going to Mass. If that is the case, your student may be exempted from Mass, and during Mass, they will go to the chapel where they may read a spiritual work or a literary work or remain in prayer during this silent time. But they will go to the chapel during Mass if they're exempted from Mass. Lunch. We are pretty much a brown bag school, but you can get delivery from Ave Maria restaurants for your child. But that is something that the school cannot coordinate or make sure deliveries are done on time or correct. So we ask you to make sure that your orders will come to school in time for lunch. If your student forgets lunch, again, this is something we want to help our students remember their lunch and be responsible for their things. So if your child forgets their lunch, you may bring the lunch up and leave it in the office. Your student, when they realize they've forgotten their lunch, may go to the office and check to see if a parent has brought it up. But if they do forget their lunch, they are not allowed to call home and tell you. You cannot bring the lunch in and take it to the child's classroom. The child is essentially responsible for bringing their lunch and for going to the office to retrieve it if they've forgotten it. So that is our lunch policy. Dismissal. Our afternoon dismissal from Carline is slightly different from the morning. In the afternoon, we have two lanes of cars, one on the outside lane nearest the lawn and the parking lot, and one on the inside lane, which is nearest the sidewalk. Please pull into the same east side entrance, pull forward in front of school, and park in either the inside or the outside lane. For children in grades K through 5, they will exit the west side of the school and walk down the sidewalk toward the east end of school. They will look for your car, and they may enter your car in either the inside or outside lane. We have a parking monitor who will hold all cars until all students have gotten into the car safely. After all students are safely in their cars, the parking monitor will release both lanes of cars at the same time, and you will exit the school. There is a second car line at 3:20 for dismissal of grades 6 through 12. It works the same way. There are two lanes, an inside and an outside lane. You'll pull forward in front of school. Your child will exit. The 6 through 12 students can exit from any door. They will come to your car and can get into your car from either lane. After all students are safely in their cars, the parking monitor will release both lanes of parking, and you will exit the parking lot. There is an instance that sometimes happens where a student in grade K through 5 will not find their parent's car when they come out at 3:10. So if that happens, if you are late to the first car line, or if your child does not see your car, the child will just go back inside. If this happens and the car lines are released and you do not have your child, you just pull out of the parking lot, make a left, and come right back in the east entrance to school. And then you will essentially be getting into the second car line. You'll pull into one of the inside or outside lanes, and you will wait until 3:20. Your child in grades K through 5 will come out then with that second dismissal at 3:20 and get in your car the same way they would have in the first car line. So it's not really a big deal if you miss your child in the first car line. You'll just pick them up in the second car line. Dismissal to an older sibling is also something that occurs. You may want your child in grades K through 5 to go home on a golf cart with an older sibling, or walk home together, or bike together. If that's the case, your student in grade K through 5 will wait in the foyer until the older sibling is dismissed at 3:20. They will be supervised in the foyer by a staff member, and older students will come down, collect their sibling, and exit the building. All students should exit the building by 3:35 p.m. There is another instance that happens with some frequency in Florida, because we do have storms during the late afternoon dismissal time. If there is if there's lightning activity near the school during dismissal will be suspended. Students will remain inside school until the lightning passes. If you need to collect your child before the storm or the lightning passes, you may do so by either parking on the inside lane where the car line would normally be, or you can park in the parking lot and come into school. You can come into school from either one of those locations, collect your child, and then leave. We ask that you don't create an outside lane during a storm, because we want to keep the driveway clear for cars passing. So please park on the inside lane or in the parking lot, collect your child, and then exit the school. If your child walks, bikes, or golf carts home, they will be held in school until the lightning passes. So they will not be allowed out unless you come to pick them up. So you should be aware of that there may be times when your child gets home late due to suspended dismissal. After school activities. Only students who are in a staff supervised after school activity, a sport, a club, a meeting, may be in school after 3:35 p.m. So all students must exit the building by 3:35 p.m. And that is your first day. Thank you for your attentiveness. Have a great first day, a great first week, and welcome to Donahue Academy. Thank you.